Okay, so it's October 12th, and I'm going to share the agenda with everybody. Can you see my agenda?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to review homework for from chapter 3, lesson 1, 2, and 3. Then we'll do the lecture, which is chapter 3, 4, 5, and 6 on ratio, proportions, and percent change. And simple interest is in there too. Then we'll take a break, and then we'll do lab problem solving until about 9:40 or so, 9:45 maybe, somewhere in there. And then I'll give you the quiz number 2. And the quiz, it's already in Canvas. If you can't, how many of you guys can print that out or would print that out?
Yeah, I can't.
You can't. Okay. Well, it's no big deal. It's in Canvas, so you can go ahead and look at it and just put your answers on a piece of paper and and show your work and so forth. But and then just scan that and send it to me, or copy it and send it to me. So don't worry about it. Also, I've got the in Canvas. I have the previous kit quizzes. I have the key also posted in that. So that's there, and that pretty well takes care of it. So let's I'm going to stop sharing that, and I think I will show you where that is in Canvas. So let me see what I'm talking about here. Where's Canvas? Okay. Canvas, forget that. Okay, can you see my Canvas screen? Yes or no?
No, it looks like it's you have to
Yeah.
log in.
Okay, let me.
App close
Yep.
site.
No problem.
Okay.
Now you should be able to see it, right?
Right.
Okay. And the reason I'm showing you this is well, I've got the critical documents, the course resource documents are on top. You can always go to that this Zoom link, this login right there, and use that to get back in. Okay, get back
Okay.
into any of these sessions. It's the same one used every time. That's everything in week 1 posted. That's everything in week 2 posted. Week 3. That's what I have in there so far. Oh, no, the quizzes, excuse me. The quizzes are in a separate section. I've got the quiz number 1 and number 2 and the key for number 1 in there. Okay. And that's where I'll keep all the quizzes. And also, you know that, or you should know that, let me see, I want to go to, sec here. I want to make sure you know where to see your grades for the quizzes, right? You just go to grades and it should look like that. And I shouldn't be showing you that. That's for everybody, sorry. But if you have the student view, you'll go there and you'll just see your own grade, okay? And that's where I keep track. And that's where I keep track of attendance as well. I give 5 points for every session you attend. Okay, so it's 10 per week.
Yay.
Okay, so
Perfect.
okay, very good. So now I'm going to stop sharing that, and now we're going to go into the homework. Do we have any questions on homework? Is there any questions at all we want to go over?
There was, but let me find it.
Sure.
Was it?
You give me the number and the page and all. Also, regarding the homework, I sent out a revised homework list last night because I'd forgotten one little section. So please look at the updated one that you should have got it in an email. I sent it to everyone. Plus, I reposted it in Canvas. So,
I guess I just sometimes I couldn't figure out what was the base in the part and rate. So
right. Yep. And we're going to go over more of that today, Jessica, too.
Oh, okay, good.
But if there's any particular problem that was assigned to you, I'll certainly go over that. Anybody want me to go over any of those that,
Uh,
I still have a really hard time with the X, what the X stands for.
okay. Which page, Kathy?
Well, for instance, on page 263,
Okay,
both 1 and 3, I tried to answer and I wrote myself a note. I don't know.
okay, no problem. Let's go over it because I want everybody to understand this. So you see my page 263?
Yes.
Okay, so like number one, so I'm gonna write, I'll go to my little paint board, but I have to write this down here. That's number one, and number three is
Right.
6/5 is equal to 3/x. Okay, so let me stop sharing that. And I'm gonna go to my paint screen, paint. I lost it again. Okay, just a second. Just a minute. Can't seem to get anywhere. Okay, now paint whiteboard. Okay, I want to get to the paint board. Stop sharing, share.
That was question 1 and 3?
Yes,
3.
that's
That
what
was,
I'm,
okay, yeah.
You know,
yeah.
I played around with numbers and I got, like, for instance, I got the bottom number, but
Uh-huh.
I did it like 3 times 6 is 18, 2 times 9 is 18. And then I got 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12. But I don't know how we end up with the whole number of 12.
Yeah, I want to show you my paint screen. I can't, well, I'm just going to have to go to the whiteboard. Okay, so you see a whiteboard now?
Yes,
Okay. So the first one was 2/3 is equal to x/18, right?
right.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to get that x, that variable, that's x. We want to get that all by itself on one side of the equation, okay?
Okay.
To do that, on this one, I'm just going to multiply both sides by 18. So I get x by itself. Why do I do that? Because I want to get rid of this 1/18 here. So what does that mean? That means I have to take the 2/3 times 18. I guess these all the same color. Divided, or is equal to x, excuse me, x/18 times 18. And so why am I doing it this way? Well, what I'm doing is I want to get x by itself. So by multiplying by 18 over here, that crosses that one out, right?
Right.
Because it's 18/18. So now I've got x by itself. So now I can rewrite it and put x on the left-hand side, which is what we normally do. And so it becomes x is equal to 2/3 times 18. Does that make sense?
Yep.
All I'm doing is I'm just solving for x. So now I can just do the math. I know that the 3's on the bottom, 18's on the top. 3 will go into 18 6 times.
Mhm.
So this thing's going to be equal to 2 times 6, which is equal to 12. Okay. I
Mhm.
just factored. You could take the 2 times 18, which is 36, divided by 3, which is 12. any way you want to get it, but you're going to end up with 12. All I did was get x by itself. That's okay. You want to solve for that. Does everyone understand that?
Yeah.
I multiplied 18 on both sides. The equation's still balanced. It's a good equation. It's still equal, but it allows me to have x by itself. That's what I did. Yes.
What I did was just 2 times 18.
Yeah.
And then to get x by itself, I divided by 3.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
It's the same. Okay.
It's the same thing. Jessica, yeah, you're just getting x by itself. So you took that, you cross multiplied, you put the 18 on the left-hand side and says 18 times 2, which is 36 divided by 3, which is 12. Yeah, same thing. I'm just showing you how to get x by itself. It's important to learn that because you're going to get, as you go on in algebra, you're going to get bigger equations and you're going to have to solve for something for one part of that equation. Well, you have to know, you should know how to do that. And that's what we're learning right here. You get that variable that you're solving for on it by itself on one side of the equation. Okay. Let's look at the other one, Kathy. Okay, because it's
Okay,
the same idea, but it's upside. It's the x is below this time. 6/5 is equal to 3 over x, right? And so we want to know what x is. That's what we're trying to do. Kathy, I can't hear you. Want to unmute? Can you?
okay, unmute.
Okay, so you understand what I'm saying? I want to solve for x on this one, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
This is on the bottom. So it means I have to multiply both sides by x to get x over here on the top. I don't want to solve for 1 over x. I want to solve for x. That's why I have to move it to the top. So the first thing I do is I go 6/5 times x is equal to 3 over x times x, right? By doing that, these two x's cancel out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. So this x and that x go away because one's on top, one's on the bottom. So now I've got x over here on the top, but I've got 6/5x. Well, I don't want that. I want to have x all by itself. So in this particular case, I know I can multiply by 5 over x or 5 over 6. It'll cross this out. So that's the next thing I do. So I'm going to put 6/5, 6 over 5 times x times 5 over 6. That's going to be equal to 3 times 5 over 6. By doing this, I multiply both sides by 5 over 6. But what it allows me to do, I can go ahead and cross out that 6 will cross out that 6. That 5 will cross out that 5. Now I've got x by itself on that side. Right? So now I've got x is equal x is equal to 3 times 5 over 6, right? In this one, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 divided by 6 is going to be 2.5, right? When you do the math, 6 and 15 is 2.5. So it's 2 1/2. Did that right? Does that make sense? You see what I did as far as you want to get x by itself. That's the key. And this one, I had to multiply both sides by x so I could get x on the top. This one over here was really easy. All I had to do was multiply both sides by 18 because it was x over 18. Okay. That makes sense to everybody?
Yeah.
You just gotta, I think you just do it until the light bulb goes off, just play with it. Because it's really, this is fundamental. You got to get this, okay? So Kathy, questions on this? Just write it down and rewrite it and rewrite it and look at it and just do it until It'll click, it will.
Okay.
Okay, yes,
Could we go over 21?
sure.
Because it took me a while, but I think I got it, but I'm not.
Sure, okay, let's do 21.
263.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I lost the page, okay. Okay, 63, do it this way. Share, share. Okay, now I got it. Boom, boom. So 21, right? Okay. 2 ingredients in a recipe are 2.5 cups of flour. I have to write this down for me. 2.5 cups of flour and 1.5 cups of sugar. If June keeps her proportion the same, how many cups of flour should she add to 4 cups of sugar? So I would write it like this. I'd put 2.5 cups of flour over 1.5 cups of sugar is equal to X number of cups of flour over 4 cups of sugar. So I'm going to show you on the whiteboard.
Yep.
So boom, boom, boom. Okay. So let me clear this. Okay, so this new one looks like this. It's 2.5. That's the cups of flour, right? Original cups of flour. I divide this by the cups of sugar. And you'll see we're gonna have to convert this to mixed numbers.
Yeah.
Or excuse me, improper fractions because we
Yeah.
can't deal with this stuff. Is equal to X cups of flour over 4 cups of sugar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense? Everyone see that? And we have to solve for X. Okay. But the first thing I want to do, I'm going to convert this left-hand side. I'm going to convert this because it's messy. 2.5, 2.5 is the same thing as 2 times 2 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So it's 5 over 2, right? That's the same thing as 2.5, right? I'm just put it in terms of a improper fraction. That divided by 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 3, so it's 3 over 2. And that's still equal to X over 4. Is everyone with me on this?
Yeah.
Kathy, does this make sense?
Yeah, well, I did mine totally different. But I'm watching you.
Okay, okay. Well, anyway, this is how I would do it. Now, the next thing I want to do, I'm going to take this left side and we learned that when we divide something by a fraction, we flip and multiply, right? That's what you do. So this left-hand side, I'm going to change it. I'm going to say it's 5 over 2. And I'm going to multiply it by 2 over 3. I just flipped, right? I just flipped this so I can go ahead and multiply. It's still equal to X over 4. I haven't changed that at all. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish this product on this side. So 5 over 2 is the same thing as 5 times 2. You multiply the numerators. So that's 10 over 2 times 3 is 6, right? So it's 10 over 6 is equal to X over 4, right? Now it's becoming a little manageable, right? So now since X is on the top, I'm going to multiply both sides by 4, so I get rid of this 4 here. So left-hand side, you're going to see like this. You're going to see 10 over 6. 10 over 6 times 4 is equal to X, right? So now it's 40 divided by 6. 40 divided by 6 is going to be 6 2/3 because 6 go into 40. 6 times, which is 36, 4 left over, 4 over 6 is 2/3. So x, I'm going to flip it around. So x is equal to 6 and 2/3. That should be your answer.
That's
That
the
make-
answer I got, but
What'd you get?
that's the answer I got, but
Well, perfect. Okay. Well, you probably, I don't know what you did, but you did it right. If your logic was right, so nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that. I'm just trying to show you how mathematically I would do
right,
it.
right.
That's how we would do it. Questions on that, Jessica?
Nope.
You okay?
Yep.
Okay, so are we okay to go on to the lesson for today now?
Yeah, I believe so, unless Shannon
Everyone
has.
okay? Shannon?
I
anything?
actually, I had a
Emily?
question, Mr. Tilson.
Certainly.
And it was on page 269. It was
Okay.
almost all of the problems on 269.
Okay, let's look. Okay. 269, okay. Stop sharing. Share. Okay. Okay, 269. Where do you want me to look?
Just at all of them.
Oh,
I
okay,
was
this is,
able,
yeah,
I was
okay, I mean, we can, certainly.
That was
All these top ones, find the missing element. You have to put it in terms of rate over 100 is equal to part over base, right? That was our magic formula, right?
well, no. And so what it was I was able to identify the base, the rate, and the part.
Okay.
It's just what it was they didn't want us to use a calculator,
Oh,
and so I
okay.
didn't know how to do it in my head.
Well, it's not in
So-
your head. You do it on paper is what that really means. So like number one, right? $35 is 20% of what number? So you'd put the 20 over 100, 35 over the X, right? Oh, you may not use a cal. Okay. Well, okay. So it's 20 over 100 is equal to 35 over X. Everybody agree with me on that one?
Yeah.
35 is 20. I have to look at it, make sure I'm right on that. Okay, so I'm going to share. Okay. I'm sharing. Share, and we'll go to the whiteboard again since I
And the
can't.
formula on this one was the rate over 100 times
Yep,
what?
yep. You got it.
Rate
Exactly
o-
right.
Times equals P?
It's so just a minute.
Sorry.
It's rate over 100 is equal to part P over T.
Okay.
That's what you meant. Yeah. Part over base. So this particular case, we said it was 20%, so it's 20 over 100, right? Is equal to 35 over X, right?
Yep.
Okay, and we want to solve for the base. Okay, so you do a little math. On the left-hand side, 20 over 100 is the same thing as 1 over 5, right? I just factored it down. I divided the 20 by 20 and 100 by 20. I got 1 over 5. It's easier to work with these numbers, and you can see how easy this is because you don't need a calculator if you do factoring. So 1 over 5 is equal to 35 over X, right? Everybody with me? Oops.
Yep.
Stupid thing, I lost it. Go down here. I don't. Okay. So I said 1 over 5 is equal to 35 over X. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides by X. Okay. Why am I doing that? Because I want to get X on top, right? We okay with that? And that allows me to cross that X out and that X out, right? So now I've got 1/5 X is equal to 35. So now I'm going to multiply both sides by 5 over 1. So I get X by itself, right? So I've got 5/1 times 1/5 times x is equal to 35 times 35 times 5, right? Times 5/1. That makes sense because I had 1/5 here. I multiplied both sides by 5/1 so I could cross this out. So I want to, because I want to end up with x. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1 divided by 1 is 1. So it becomes x on the left-hand side. So I multiplied by 5/1 here. So I have to do the same thing over here. The only thing, so it's 35 times 5/1, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now x is just equal to 35 times 5. You can do the math, the manual math on that, right?
Yep.
It's going to be 70, 140, 50, 60, 70, 175, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, 175. That's what it is. Okay? That's what it meant by doing, not using a calculator, just by being smart and know how to factor, right? That's what you're doing. And then just the manual multiplication. That makes sense?
That one, yes.
That one did. Emily, well, let's look at one more, but I do want to go on to the lecture, okay?
Okay.
It'll reinforce it. It'll,
Yeah.
what we're doing today is very similar to this stuff. So I'll stop sharing and Emily, you pick another one, okay?
Number 19 was very
Okay.
difficult.
Okay. Kevin's total payroll deduction of 30% of his earnings. Okay.
Is that on?
If his deductions added up to 369 for a 2-week period, how much were the earnings? Well, again, we're going to put it in terms of, it's just going to be just like the last one. We're going to put 30/100 is equal to 369 over x, and we're going to solve for x. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing and it is 369, yeah, so it looks like this. Whiteboard.
So that would be.
Okay, it's just like, it's exactly the same as this up here. Right, I'm gonna get rid of these and get rid of that. And on this one, I know the rate is 30, right? 30/100. And that's equal to 369 over x. Right? Same idea. On the left-hand side, I'm gonna put 3/10, just to keep it simple. I just divided 30 by 10 and 100 by 10, so I get 3/10 as a fraction. Is equal to 369 over x. Now I've got to do the same thing on this one. I have to multiply both sides by x, right? Because I want to get x on the top. Okay. So it looks like that. So these x's cancel each other out. So now on the left-hand side, I've got 3/10 times x is equal to 369, right?
Yep.
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and multiply both sides by 10/3. So I get rid of this 3/10 because I want to have x by itself. Same idea, okay? So I'm just gonna show you the right-hand side. And it's gonna be 369 times 10/x, or 10/3, excuse me. Does everyone understand that? I'm just not showing the 3/10 times the 10/3 because it goes away, right? So it becomes x. So now I can go ahead and I can factor. I know that I can divide 3 into 369. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's 1, 2, 3 times 10. So it's going to be 1,300 or 1,230, right? Is that right? So I didn't need a calculator. So you see what I'm saying? The 369 is, you divide the 3 into 369, you're going to get 1, 2, 3. So now you're going to have 1, 2, 3 times 10. right? So that's going to become 1,230. That makes sense?
Yeah.
You don't need a calculator, right? You can do this. It just,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, Emily, does that make sense? Everyone's good on that? Now, I want you
I
to,
didn't get that answer though.
well, what did you get?
I got 110.70.
I don't know what you did wrong, unless I did something wrong. No, I know, this is right. Because this is multiple choice, right? It's A, B, C, D. Isn't 1, 2, 3, 0 one of the answers?
Yeah, 123.
Okay.
Hmm.
Emily, I don't know what you did wrong, but it's this 3 over 10 times x is equal to 369. And you just solve for x. Did you start out with 30 over 100 is equal to 369 over x?
Yeah, I did.
Well,
And
then what
and then
did
I
you,
did 369
yeah,
multiplied by 30 over 100, which is equal to x.
okay.
And then I got
Well,
110.70.
no, yep. It's 369 times 100 or times 100 over 30. You had it
Oh,
upside down. That's where you screwed up. Okay. That's why you would have got 100. You would divide by 3 instead of multiplying by. You just had that backwards. Okay. But you started out right, but you just that next step. It's okay. Okay, I'm gonna go on to the next ones, okay? So into the current lecture, because it reinforces it. It's the same thing. I'll show you what I mean. I'm sharing that, share, go here. Are we gonna go into week 3? Here. Okay, so now stop sharing, share. Okay, less than 4% calculator skills. I'm not going to pay too much attention to the calculator part of it. Okay, the idea is just to know these are just like the same idea. It's going to be rate over 100 is equal to part over base. That's what all these story problems are about. Forget the calculator part of it. I mean, you can use a calculator to do it, but I'm not going to, I don't want to emphasize that. I want to emphasize the algebra part of it. Okay. So having said all that, we're going to go on to the next page, and that's where we work the problems. It's the same idea. Stop sharing that. I'm going to share the next page, okay? I'll show you why. Okay, so that next page is just more problems. Okay, it's the same idea. Find 46% of 130. So that one would the rate would be 46. The part would be what we're solving for, and the base would be 130. That makes sense? You can use your calculator on the because they're not, they don't factor out. So it
So
becomes
it would be 46 over 100 equals to
then times
130 over, or
yeah,
times
no, x over
Oh.
130,
x over.
right? So so it looks like this.
Thank you.
Yeah, here. So it's the same thing. You got that same. This particular case in this problem, it's 46 over 100 is equal to x over 130, right?
Okay.
So in this one, so x is equal to 46 over 100, which is like 0.46, right? You would use a calculator on this guy here, times 130, right? So whoops, whatever that is. It's about 60 or something like that, or, 60 or not 70, but somewhere around 60. Okay. That makes sense? Again, all these are using the same formula. So understand how to look at these story problems and say, whoa, what's the rate? What's the part? What's the base? What am I missing? Solve for that. Missing becomes the X, the variable. Put that X for that one part that's missing and solve for it. Okay. And that's where you have to use the algebra. When if X is on the bottom, you have to know how to get X on the top, right?
How exactly do you identify which is which? I mean, I know what the
Well, you just have to logically read it.
percent is.
Yeah. Jessica, there's no magic answer on that. It's just,
Okay.
you just,
Dang it, I thought there might be.
no, there's really not. You just have to
Right.
read it. I just have to read it and say, oh, this is
Okay.
what's missing. I don't know of a simple way of doing it. I don't think there is one. I mean, the rate is always percent. I mean, that's the one part you do know, right?
Okay, that's what I
But the,
want.
right, so you always know the rate is percent, but the part in the base, you just have to read it and understand whether it's the bigger number, the littler number,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know how else to say it than that. So let's go back. It's a good question. I just don't have a good answer. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Okay. Let's look at one. Okay. Look at number 4. What number is 62.5% of 64? So in this one, what would be what's the rate? Somebody tell me what the rate is.
The 62.
62 and 1/2. Yep.
Yeah.
And what's the part and what's the base? What's missing?
Is it gonna be the base?
Well, look at it again.
Oh, that means it's gonna be the other one.
Exactly. It's going to be the part, right? Because
Yes.
that 64 is the bigger number, right?
Oh, okay. So the larger number is always the part. Most
No, the
likely.
larger number is always the base,
Base. That's what I meant.
right? Yeah. Yeah, that's another a good clue. The larger number is always
Yeah, that's
the
what.
base. Yeah. Yeah, think of it like that. Once you know what the larger number is, what it,
Yeah. Then yeah. There we
right?
go.
That makes sense. So in this
Yep.
one, it's pretty easy because 62.5 ends up being 5/8 when you convert it. So it's 5, and so it ends up being 5/8 is equal to X over 64. And 8 will go in, so the answer is going to be 40. So because the 8 will go into 64, 8 times 5 is 40. So that one you can do easily without a calculator. But anyway, but the point is understanding what the part is, what the base, and what you're looking at. Let's look at another one. So I want you to get in the habit of knowing how to easily figure out what you need, right? Look at number 6. The number is 32% of 6,500. What's the number? Okay, what's the rate?
32%.
32%. Okay. And do we know the base or the part?
Is it
What's
the
65? 6,500. 6,500 is the base, right?
500?
Because they're saying
Yeah.
what number is 32% of the base of 6,500? So it's going to be X over 6,500, right?
Yep.
Okay, Kathy, does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm making all these notes, yes.
Okay, okay. And Shannon, you okay with that?
Yep.
Okay, everyone understand that, right? Because the ones I have in yellow here, those are the ones I want you to do for homework, okay? So I'm trying to have a cross reference of all of them, sort of. What about number 11? 25 is what percent of 1,000? Okay, what's the missing part on this one?
Which one is that?
Number 11,
11?
25 is what percent of 1,000?
Isn't 1,000 the base?
1,000 would be the base, exactly. What else do we know?
That it's 25%, so it's gonna be 25 over 100.
Wait, no, we don't know. 25 is the number. It's not the
Oh,
percent, right?
oh, so you're trying to solve for the rate.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it looks like this, right? Stop sharing, boom. Just reinforce what we just did. So in this particular case, it would be the rate. Rate over 100 is equal to 25 over 1,000, right? And we're solving for the rate, that top number there, or the top term. Rate is going to be, and so I'm going to multiply both sides by 100. So I could just have rate by itself, right? Because I don't want rate over 100, I want rate. So I multiply the left side by 100, the right side by 100. So it becomes 25 over 1,000 times 100, right? And this one you can also do in your head. Because because all you're doing, you're dividing 100 into, you got 1,000 on the bottom, you got 100 on top. This is on top, right? It looks like that, 100 over 1. So it's 1/10. So you're going to end up with rate is equal to 25 divided by 10, right? It's the same thing. Yeah, I have a hard time showing you this.
Yeah.
It ends up being 2.5%, right? 2.5%. That's what 25 over 1,000 is. I know it's hard to look. This will factor this out. This will be a 10 down here, and that's where I get the 10.
Mm.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
because 100's on top. I know it's hard to annotate this without actually being able to do it. Just a minute. Let's try it like this. See if I can do this. This isn't that easy either. Just a minute. Draw. So it's 25 times 100 divided by 1,000. And that's where I get 25 over 10, right? Which is equal to 2.5. Sorry for the messy deal, but that's what this is up here. It's 10 over 20 over 100, or excuse me, 100 over 1,000, which is, this factors out to 1 over 10, right? And that's why I get the 10 down there. Okay?
Yeah,
That
that's
makes-
how I can see the problem is the way you just put that up there.
I know, and I can't.
So once
I have a
well,
hard
now I
time.
know how to flip it,
Yeah.
but it took a bit. But
Yeah.
I got it, I believe.
Well, good. Okay. Okay. Does everyone sort of understand this? What I've got here? This is this is really what, if I was at a board, I would show it like this, but I have to show it like you
Yeah.
know, hard to do it, but that's the same thing. It's 100 over 1,000, so it factors out to 1 over 10. Then I can divide the 10 into 25 and get 2.5. That's what I've got showing up here. It just doesn't look as good. Okay.
Can we do 18?
Of course. Yep. Let's look at it. 18. Okay. Okay, a number is 66 and 2/3 of 414. What's the number? So it's 66% of 414. So what we know the rate, right? the rate is 66.2 and 2/3, which is 2/3, right? That's what that is.
Mhm.
So we know the rate is 2/3. And so we're solving for what? The part or the base? We want to know what the number is. So
That's gonna be the base?
no,
Oh, it's gonna be the other one.
it's going to be the part, right? The number, because it's a smaller number. The number is 2/3 of the size of this number. So the number has to be the part, the smaller number.
Oh, okay.
That makes sense. So,
Okay, yeah. I see.
okay, got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So I'm going to erase some of this stuff. Here. So in this particular case, we know it's 66.6% divided by 100 is equal to X over, what was the number? 414 or what?
Yeah.
Okay, 414. And so we're solving for X. Sorry. Okay. We're solving for X. So I've got to get X by itself, right? Got to get it by itself. So what do I have to do to get X by itself? What do I have to, how do I move that 414 over to the left-hand side?
Don't we multiply it by 414 on each?
Exactly. You multiply both sides by 414, so the 414 will divide out, okay? So I'm gonna show you sloppily here what it looks like. We said that the 66 and 66.6 is the same thing as 2/3, right?
Mhm.
So what I said is I have to multiply both sides by 414. Oh, this thing is terrible to work with, let me tell you. So it looks like that. So now I can cancel that out, right? So now I'm going to flip it around and put X on the left-hand side because it's more conventional. So now that's equal to 2/3 times 414, right? Okay, now it's just doing the math. I don't know if it goes in equal or not. 3 into 4, let's see, I don't know. I've got a feeling it doesn't. 414, so it'd be 1, 3, 1 left over, 11, 3, 9. Oh, it does. 24, 8. So 3 into 414 is 138. 138 times 2 would be 276, right? 276. So you could do this one. That makes sense? I'm just doing the math. You can use a
Yeah.
calculator, I don't care, but
Pretty much.
okay. So the answer, so the part is 276 over 414, which makes sense. 276 has to be smaller than 414 if the rate is going to be 2/3, right? So
Mhm.
2/3 of 414 is 276. That makes sense? Yes.
Mhm.
Everyone
Yeah.
got that? Emily, Shannon?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing that. Anything else on that page, or can we move on?
Mhm.
These are all the same. I mean, it's the same. You want to do one of the story ones down here? I mean,
Yeah, why not?
okay, well, let's do 20 then, okay? Jason placed an order totaling $110. Zola placed an order for 90. How much more did Jason pay in shipping and handling than Zola? What? Okay. Oh, we got to know the rates up here. So, okay, so Jason placed an order for 110, $110. So it's right here. So the shipping rate is 8%, right? That's what that says. Zola placed the order for 90, so the shipping rate is 5%. 5% of the rate plus $4. Okay, so let's figure out what Jason paid starting out with. So Jason paid 8% of 110, right? So Jason paid 8% of, I'm just going to leave this, of $110. And then Zola placed an order for $90. And so it falls in this range. It's 5% of the sale of the price of the order plus $4. So you put Zola is equal to $4 plus 5%, 0.05 times 90, right? So you got $4 plus 5%, and then I'll write, I'll go to the whiteboard here. But you see how you have to do this? Screen, boom. Okay. So this one's different. Okay. I'm just gonna clear it and go to a new screen. Okay. So we know that Jason is 8%, so it's 0.008 times $110, right? Because that's what it says, right? It's 8%, so it's 8 times. So this becomes $8.80, right? You do the math, if that's what you'll see, right? So that's what Jason had to pay. Zola, on the other hand, Zola is $4. It's $4 plus 5%, right? 0.05 times $90, right? Everybody with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's equal to $4 plus 5 9 45. So it's plus $4.50, right? 4.5. Oops. Make sure I did that right. 5 nines is 45, so it's $4.50. Now add that to $4 and we're up to $8.50, right? $8.50. That makes sense? I mean, I haven't looked at the problem. Now let's go back and see what the real answer. So Jason paid 30 cents more for shipping. It looks like to me. If I did everything correct, I'm not sure. I have to look at it. I don't know. Okay, let's check it out here. Yeah, right there. The answer is A. Right? How much more did Jason pay? 30 cents more. So you see how to do that? You use the percent, you understand what percent is, and we know that. It's whatever, it's the number multiplied or divided by 100 times whatever you're working with. And then in this particular case, on this one, you had to add $4 to the base as the base times 5%. Here it was just 8%. Okay, so it's just ranges, shipping ranges. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to the next section, okay? Okay. Sharing that, boom. What page was that I was just on?
271.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Oh, okay. Share. 271. Okay, simple interest. Okay, different subject here, but using percents. Simple interest, the key on this, knowing this little formula right here, interest is equal to principal times the rate times time. Okay. Example, so you have to know this little formula. I is equal to PRT. Simple interest is equal to principal times rate times time. This particular one is $2,500. Borrowed $2,500 $4,500 at 6% simple interest. When they say 6% simple interest, it's the interest for 1 year, for 12 months,
Oh, shit.
okay? So how much interest was paid on the loan? It was a 3-year loan, so it's $450. So I'm gonna go to my whiteboard and I want you to
Thank you.
make sure you know that, okay? Okay, we okay?
What you put on the whiteboard?
I will. Going on the whiteboard right now. So the key is interest is equal to principal times rate times time, okay? I'll get, so it's not confusing.
So the T is time?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Okay.
But I'm gonna get rid of my X's so it doesn't confuse you with a variable, right? So it looks like that, principal times rate times time. Know this form, write this down, circle it, embed it, do something so you know it, okay? That's what you gotta know. So the first, they asked you, what's the print, or what is the interest for $4,500 with a rate of, was it 6% or? I didn't write it down.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
6%.
And they want to know what interest was paid for that period of time. So the principal was $4,500.
2,500.
Okay, I'm sorry. And the rate was 6%?
Yes.
Okay, so you can, it's like 6 over 100, right?
Yeah.
That's converting it into decimals, right? We take the 6% divided by 100. And the time was 3 years, right? And this 6% is per year. So, excuse me, so the years cancel out, right? So I was just multiplying it. So it's going to be $7,500 divided by 6, whatever that is. I don't know what that is, just on my head. But that's what it is. It's
450.
450 or something.
Yeah, that's what it says. 450 in interest.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what we're solving for, okay? So interest is equal to $2,500 times 6 over 100 times 3 years, which is equal to 450. Okay, that all makes sense?
Getting there.
So write that down. So Shannon, are you okay with that? Where's Shannon? Did we lose her?
I'm here. I just couldn't unmute it. Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So everyone's okay. So let's stop sharing that. And we'll keep going on that page. Okay, so that's what it is. The next problems are just going to be more of the same, and we'll go to the problems. But well, let's look at Eva invests $3,000 for 9 months. She will be paid 8% simple interest on her investment. How much interest would she earn? So it's the same idea. So you know the principal in this case is 3,000. The time is going to be 9 months, but it's going to be 9 over 12 because you need to convert it to years. Okay. And the interest rate will be 8% divided by 100, which is 0.08, right? So it's 3,000 times 9 over 12. So you can see how they do that. Shorten the whiteboard to. Okay. So in this particular one, boom, we're solving for interest. It's going to be $3,000 times 8%. It's the same thing as 8 over 100, right? Times 9 months. So it's 9 months divided by 12 months, right? because you want it in terms of a year, right? So it looks like that. So to make this simple, our interest is equal to 3,000 times 0.08 times 0.75. So you can use a calculator. Everyone use a calculator anyway. I think they said the answer was 180. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, any problems on that one? Let's see how to do it. We had to convert the 9 months into years, and it's 0.75 years, right? 9 over 12 is 3/4, which is 0.75. Okay. That's how you do. Questions on that, Kathy? Does that make sense? You're unmuted, but I'm going to assume it's affirmative. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing that, and we're going to go on to the next page. Okay. Stop sharing, share. Okay, here's problems. Okay, so this is, all these problems are using the simple formula, right? Where I is equal to PRT. Look at number 2. How much interest would you pay on a loan for $800 for 6 months at 14%? It's the same idea, right? You're gonna have 800 times 14 over 100 times 8, or excuse me, times 6 over 12, right? Right? So it's $800. So it's the more you do, the easier it'll get, right? That's $800 times 14 over 100, right? Times 6 over 12, right? And you just do the math. This is 1/2. This is, so it'd be 0.07. So it'd be $56, right? I think it's $56. Because it's going to be, this boils down to 0.07. 7 times 8 is 56, but it's 0.0, so it's 56. So the answer is $56. Okay. There's going to be some of these where you're going to be given the interest, and maybe you find the principal. It's the same idea. You just use algebra to solve for principal, right? You change this formula up here. Let's see if there's any like that. Okay. Let me see. They're all prints. Okay. Okay, let's look at number 8. Let's solve 8, and then we'll go on. Okay, Jean borrowed $1,300 to buy tools for a job as an auto mechanic. The loan for a 1 year, 6 months, 1 year, 6 months at 9% interest. So it's 1.5 years at 9%. Which the following expression would be used to find the amount she would pay back at the end of the loan period? So she's got to pay the principal plus the interest, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be $1,300. I'm going to use my board here and do it. Okay. Okay, so here, I'm going to get rid of some of this stuff. So here, interest is going to be equal to $1,300 times interest rate of, was it 9%? Is that what it is? Or 7%?
9%.
Thank you. So it's 9/100, right? And it's a year and a half. Right, it's 1 year, 6 months. Is that correct, I think?
Yeah,
So it becomes 3/2, or, yeah, we'll put 3/2. Okay. So now we need to find a formula that looks similar to something like this, right? So now, look at that. Just a minute. Where's the screen?
is it A?
Oh, no, it's gonna be D.
D?
Yeah, well, because here's the principal, and here's the interest, 13 plus 0.09 times 1.5. Boom, that one,
Mhm.
okay? Because what I've showed you is just the interest. You have to take that,
Oh,
right?
gotcha.
I just showed you the interest. That's what I calculate. You gotta add the $1,300 to it. Okay?
Okay.
That all makes sense? Okay. When you get into, if you get into Math 98, you'll get compound interest, and you'll learn everything you ever wanted to know about compound interest. It's pretty cool, really. But simple interest is a lot simpler. But anyway, compound interest is exponential. Anyway, that's enough of that. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, just stop sharing. Share. Okay, now percent of change. Okay. Let's look at number. Michelle recently started her own business. Last month, she earned $1,000. This month, she earns $2,000. How could she describe the increase in earnings? Okay. Well, you can do it actually 3 different ways, or at least 3 different ways. You could say Michelle earns double from last month to this month, right? Because she went from 1,000 to 2,000. This month she increased her earnings by 100% from last month. This month's earnings are 200% of last month's earnings. So there's different ways of describing percent of change, right? An example 2. Okay, percent of change compares the new number, which shows an increase or a decrease, to the original number. Okay, so it's new to old. Okay, that's the takeaway here, new to old. Example 2, before her raise, Lisa earned $10.50 per hour, right? That's the old. Now she earns $11.34. What percent raise did her boss give her? Well, you could do it a couple different ways. You could take the $11.34 minus $10.50. She earned 84%, 84 cents more. So then you compare that to original one, and that's an 8% increase. You also could have taken the 1134 and divided by 1050. You would have got 1.08. Same thing. Okay, so it's sort of 2 different ways of doing that. It would be exactly the same thing. And the third one, a jacket is on sale for $90. 3 days ago, the jacket was on sale for $120. By what percent was the price of the jacket reduced? Well, it went from $120, that was the old price, down to $90. So we're reduced by $30, right? So the percent would be $30 over the original price of $120, or 25%. Does that make sense? When you're doing these problems on the next page, go back and look at these, because these are good examples, and this is how you would do them, okay? That's why I'm going over this sort of laboriously. But Calvin started her business with 10 employees. Now she has 60. So she went from 10 to 60. What percent has has his workforce increased? Well, 10 to 60 went up by 50. So 50 divided by the original amount, 10, would be 5 or 500%. Okay. We'll go on to the next page. Okay. We'll just look at a couple of these and then we'll take a break. And that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, all these are to do with that. Number 2, find the percent of decrease from $2 to 125. Percent of decrease from $2 to 125. So what you would do, so what you would do, so the original was 2, come on. Was $2.
What?
Current is equal to 125, right? Yeah, I can't remember. Is that what it said on that?
Yes.
Okay. So, we want to know, oh, that's funny. We get that 80%. So we want to know what the percent change is.
Which one are we on?
Two.
That was on 1. Oh, 2?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I want to make sure I'm on the right page. I gotta find the page. What page is
275.
275?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, just a sec here. 275. Okay. Yeah, find the percent decrease from $2 to 125. So the decrease is, the decrease is equal to 2.00 minus 1.25, right?
Right.
So that's equal to 0.75, okay?
Mhm.
So the percent decrease is just gonna be 0.75 divided by the original, right, of $2. So what is that? That's 3/4 over 2, so it's 3/8, so it's 37.5, I think. I mean, what I did was I put 3 over 4 because that's what 75 is, and I
Mhm.
divided it by 2. And that ends up being 3 over 8. Yeah. Which is equal to 37.5.
And that's the decrease.
That's a decrease, yeah, percent decrease. You take that difference, divide it by the base, or in this case, the original amount would be 2. So it's 3/4 divided by 2. Yeah, I don't know how, yeah, okay. And this, that's why this looks funny, is because it's 2.0. Like that. Okay. And then I converted the 3/8 to percent. Okay, let's stop that and look, see if we can do one more here. Share. Somebody pick one. What do you want me to do?
12.
12, okay. Okay, David bought a computer game on sale for $36. The game was originally 48. What was the percent of decrease in the game's price? So you're going to go from 48 to 36. So you're going to go down $12. So it's going to be 12 divided by 48. So it's going to be 25%, but I'll show you on the board. 48 to 36. So it's like this. So let's get rid of some of this stuff. Um, so original price was,
$48.
thank you, 48. New price is 36, right? 36, so reduction is equal to $12, right? So the percent reduction from the new price to the old price is going to be 12 over 48, right? 12 over 48 is 1 over 4. And so then you would take that 1 over 4 and multiply it by 100, right? Just turn it into percent. When you do that, you get 25%. It's 25% reduction.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna, okay, so everybody got that down. I'm gonna stop sharing and we're gonna take a break, okay? And I'm gonna cut off the video at this point. Come back we'll come back in 10 minutes, so 9:32 we'll come back. Have a little bit of time and then I'll give you the quiz, okay?
All right.
Okay, thank you. So stop.